Hi, this is James Hahn with Real Life Rosary, and you're in our rosary making office. And today I want to show you how to make the twine cross that we put on our rosaries. And just to give you an example, this is one of our twine crosses. It's made completely of the twine that we make the rest of the rosary out of. And a lot of people ask, why don't you put a crucifix on there? Well, we do. We'll put crucifixes on the rosaries if you want. But a lot of people can't have metal on their crucifixes for various reasons. We have a lot of folks who want twine crosses because they want to take their rosary with them to medical testing, MRIs, those types of things, CAT scans, and they can't have any metal, so they like to have the rosary there with them that they can hold on to. Military personnel, they can't have the metal anything else than their dog tags or something like that, so they have to have something without metal. So we put the cross on there. If you want something different, we can do that. But in this video I want to show you how to make the cross, because there's not a lot of instruction out there on how to make the cross, but it's very simple. It's basically the same knot that we use for the rest of the rosary. So I'll show you that knot first, and this is a barrel knot or a fisherman's knot or a bunch of different names. We use a rosary tool. They're available on our site or Our Lady's Rosary Makers. It's a nice tool. You can see the slot right down through the middle, and that's where we'll be sliding the twine through. So the knot is basically looping over the tool and then wrapping the twine around itself a few times. So I'm going to make a larger knot so you can see that. So here's the larger knot sitting on the tool, and then I'm going to take the end of the twine and I'm going to slide it through that slot, and I'll pull it. And so when I pull it, the reason I like the tool, it's easier for me to keep spacing and keep the knot intact rather than putting it on my finger. So I'll just slide that off the tool, and then I'll slowly work both ends to tighten it. Pull it tight, and there's a knot. So the entire rosary is made of these knots, but this particular knot is going to be the top of our crucifix, or our cross I should say. So there's the top part, which would be above the middle on the top. So next I'm going to keep a little bit of space with my thumb, and I'm going to do the same process, only this one I'm going to make a little bit larger. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I usually do 7. You can do whatever you like. Some people will do a couple groups of 4. I'd rather just one large bead. I do 7, and I think about the 7 last words of Christ from the cross. Again, sliding the twine through that slot, and then carefully sliding it off the tool, and then working this twine down. So I'm pushing together, but with this right here I'm pulling. So if I pull it, and then you can see it starts to work away from the top knot, and then pull it. So it just takes some practice to get these knots to where they'll straighten out and stay tight. I like the knots to be tight, otherwise the rope starts to unravel and it makes the rosary look terrible. So a good tight knot is the key, in my opinion, to a good cross. Okay, so now we have the top and the bottom of the cross. Good tight knots. Okay, pretty simple. It's the same knot as we use for all of the rosary beads. So there's the top and the bottom of the cross. So what usually happens is when I make a rosary, there is 10, 12 inches of twine left at the bottom, and I'll cut this off, melt it at the bottom. I'm not going to do that now because I already have a piece cut. So what I'll do next is grab my other piece, and I'm just going to make a simple knot around this center. Now it's easier for me to do this when it's on the table, but I'm hoping you can still see it. Do it real quick. Apologize. It's kind of awkward. Okay. So all I've done is tied a knot around that open centerpiece that we left between the top and the bottom part of the cross and pulled it tight. So you can see that. Okay. Now all I'll do is simply take the tool again, start on the right side, and usually I'll do 3 wraps for the Trinity. I make it just a bit shorter than the top knot. I just think it looks better than to have this, I don't know, just my opinion. You can make them however you like. So I'll work that. So I'll pull this one, but then I'll also pull back against the center. I'm going to try to push all of these knots towards the center where it's all joining together to make it as tight as possible so it's a good solid cross. Again, I think if you do them loose, they start to unravel and they look terrible, especially if you leave them in your pocket and wash them a couple times. If it's not a good tight knot, it's going to ruin the rosary. So I'm just making those knots on either side of the centerpiece where I joined it, and then you see me twisting. I'll take like the top part and I'll twist a little bit, and I'll twist the bottom, and I just keep working all of it towards the center. So the top I'm going to work towards the center, the bottom I'm going to work up towards the center, all towards the center of the cross. And when I do that, you can see it makes a good solid cross. So I hope that helps you rosary makers out there who have asked, how do we do that? It's very simple. It's the same knot that we always use for the rest of the rosary, and you'll see I'll just cut all of these pieces off like this, so then I have my cross, and then I'll take and just melt that down. And what I like to do when I melt these down is take my scissors and just kind of roll around there and just smooth it all out, make sure there's nothing that's going to grab anything that'll catch on a stray string in a pocket or something like that. I'll just do that with the rest of these 3 sides. Apologize for the phone. Do that there. And this final side. And that one. And then that's it. So then the cross is complete. And that would be on the end of the rosary or the chaplet or the bracelet or wherever we want to put it. But it's pretty simple. It's just making a knot on the top, making a knot on the bottom, tying a piece of twine in between, making knots on either side of that knot, pushing it all towards the center to make a good, solid, strong knot. Cross. Hope this helps you. God bless you. This is James Hahn with Real Life Rosary. Have a great day.